Do you ever catch yourself overthinking a decision that in the back of your mind you know will probably be okay either way? I'm talking about those decisions like what should I order or how do I want to spend the evening that seem like they should be relatively small and easy to make, but your anxious mind can turn them into these big, stressful, maybe even overwhelming decisions sometimes. And then maybe you get frustrated with yourself for not being able to decide. So if this sounds familiar, then this technique is for you. It will help you not only in the moment with those small decisions, but if you practice it, it can actually help you feel more confident making bigger decisions in the long term as well. I'm Vicky. I'm a therapist supporting people with anxiety and overthinking. And the number one thing I've noticed helps my therapy clients feel more confident with making decisions is building self-trust. In this video, I'll share my 1-minute technique, why it actually works, and how it can help you build self-trust in the long term. Okay, here's the technique. There are 3 steps. Step 1, name what's happening. So in the moment, while you catch yourself overthinking a decision, you have to say, and it's really helpful, it's really effective if you say it out loud, but you don't have to, you can say it internally as well. Say, I am overthinking this decision because it feels bigger than it actually is. Don't criticize yourself. Don't say, oh, I shouldn't be overthinking this. Oh, why am I overthinking this again? Just acknowledge what's happening. I am overthinking this decision because it feels bigger than it actually is. Once you're aware of what you're doing, step 2, set a 1-minute timer. And you're going to give yourself 1 minute to make this decision. And in this 1 minute, you're going to allow your mind to do all the thinking that it needs or wants to do. Do you want to make a pros and cons list? Do it. Do you want to ask ChatGPT what you should do? Do it. Use this time to think about your options and actively engage with the pros and cons. For example, if you're in a restaurant and you don't know what to order, this is the time to read the menu, look at the options, notice if there are certain things that stand out more than others. I would recommend not using this minute in an overly negative way, like beating yourself up for not knowing the answer or catastrophizing about all the horrible things that could go wrong if you make the wrong decision, just because that might not feel very productive. But honestly, it's up to you how you use the minute. If you want to just think all your negative thoughts to get them out of your system, then that's up to you. But when I say 1 minute, I mean 1 literal minute, where you set a timer on your phone and at the end of the minute, you make your decision. The second the timer goes off, you say, I choose blank. Do whatever you need to do to make that decision. Flip a coin if you need to, but that's your decision. You state it, preferably out loud, and that's it. Step 3, commit to the decision. This is probably the hardest step. Whatever you've chosen is your choice. No more thinking about which option is better. No beating yourself up for not choosing the other option. You will consciously decide to embrace this decision and all the consequences that come with it. Now, you might say, well, I can't do that. My brain is too good at second guessing or convincing me that I've made the wrong decision. To which I say, if your mind is strong enough to convince you that you've made the wrong decision, it's also strong enough to convince you you've made the right decision. It just hasn't practiced doing that before. Either way, that's not the point of this exercise. The point is to show yourself that you can deal with a decision either way, whether it's right or wrong. That's how you build self-trust. More about self-trust in a second. So how do you commit to the decision if your mind just starts overthinking again? This is where it's really helpful to have some responses ready to go. So if your mind starts to say, oh no, that was the wrong option, you can respond with something like, it doesn't matter. I've made my decision and I can deal with the consequences. Here are some examples, but you can write some in your own words too. It's basically whatever helps you commit to the decision. If you choose 1 or 2 that work for you, you can actually put them in your notes app in your phone and just always have them with you, ready to go. Notice that none of these responses is focused on whether your decision was the right one or the wrong one. They're just focused on your ability to be okay either way. So why does this technique work? It works because it focuses on the root cause of your decision-making anxiety. If you overthink your decisions, probably what you're worried about is the aftermath of the decision. You're probably scared of at least one of these things: failure or getting it wrong, judgment, rejection, disappointment, regret, and/or anxiety. When you spend a lot of time thinking about a decision, a common reason for that is your mind is trying to protect you from feeling one of these things after you've made the decision. It's kind of like your brain believes that if I take some time and I think about which one is the right decision, then I won't have to feel any of these feelings. But trying to avoid these feelings isn't actually making you any better at feeling them. So the solution is not to try to spend all your time and energy on trying to avoid these feelings. The solution is to learn how to be okay with them. And even if you experience judgment or failure or regret, you will be okay. And what this 1 minute technique does is it limits your thinking time and maximizes your resilience building time, because you're only giving yourself 1 minute to think, and then you're giving yourself as long as you want. You could take the whole rest of the day if you want to build your resilience. The best way to practice this technique, I think, is to start with small-ish decisions. So small means something different for everyone. It's very individual, so use your judgment here. But it should be a big enough decision where the 1 minute limit feels like a challenge. Like there's a part of you that kind of wants more time and feels a little challenged by the 1 minute restriction. But it should also be a small enough decision where in your heart of hearts, you know, this will be okay either way. I will be okay either way. I'm just kind of stressing a little more than I need to be. If you're someone who gets really anxious about decisions and you're not even sure if you can trust your own judgment about what's a small decision, what's a big decision, think of what a trusted friend would say. And if that person would say, you know, I know this decision is stressing you, but I honestly think it could go either way and you would be fine either way, then that's probably a good decision to practice with. Let's say you give yourself 1 minute in the restaurant to think about what you're going to order. You order a pizza, you hate it, you're disappointed, you regret it. Great. Accept that. Accept the feelings. It will actually be more productive to allow yourself to feel a little bit of regret, to acknowledge, you know what, I regret it. And then you can move forward. You've acknowledged how you feel. You've shown yourself that you can survive the regret. And now you can do something about it if you want. You can order something else, or you can ask your friends if they want to kind of share or trade or whatever. There are a million things you can do, but you can only do them if you accept your feelings, accept your decision, and move forward. So how can this help you build self-trust in the long term? If you do this over and over with progressively harder decisions each time, oh my gosh, the lighting must be so weird. Can you see the weird lighting? Should I change it? So how can this help you build self-trust long-term? If you do this over and over with progressively bigger decisions, you will become a better decision maker, because what you need is to spend less time trying to make perfect decisions and more time showing yourself that you can survive the outcomes of your imperfect decisions. When you start to build up a list of all the times that you took 1 minute to make a decision and everything turned out okay, then you'll start believing that you can be trusted to make your own decisions. So try this out. Let me know how it goes. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you in the next video. Deep breath. 1 minute limit. Apologies for the crazy ass lighting. We're working on getting better lighting equipment at some point. Subscribe so I can afford it.